Hello and welcome to the Wellsy Weekly Podcast, the show where I talk about anything and everything, because it's just really fun. Alright, I'm John, and I'm feeling pretty good today actually. Don't know why, just in a really good mood. Anyway, today's show is all about the mind, where I'll tell you my first time in an escape room called the Devil's Playground, and I'll take a look at some old kids shows, because to be honest, they're pretty weird. Like, looking back at them, I'm surprised I didn't need therapy for them. Like, they're really weird. But let's kick things off with an interesting topic, which is photos, right? Because I've been putting things into boxes recently because I'm moving out of my uni flat and back to my mum's in the next week. And on one of my walls, I had loads of photos pinned up to try and cover like this water stain. And I was looking at the photos and I suddenly started remembering like when they were taken and the stories behind them. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Like, an image can spark a memory like that. Because like a picture's basically just a snippet of time or just a moment. But you can still get like an emotional response to that. I thought that was just quite interesting. Like, it's like an external storage for your memories or your mind essentially. Which is just, I don't know if it's just me that just had that, but I thought that was quite interesting. Anyway, I was looking at some of these photos when I saw one of me in a cowboy hat. And I remember that day like it was yesterday. So, I was with my mate and we were walking around Smith's toy store because we were both a bunch of big kids, right? And I was messing about picking things up that I shouldn't be. And one of them was this cowboy hat. And my mate said, "You really are the sheriff." And we both started laughing because we both did this thing called NCS, right? Which stands for National Citizen Service. And it's a government program which helps you develop skills and help the community, I think. I'm not sure how to describe it, to be honest. All I know is it was quite fun. And I definitely recommend anybody if you have the chance. Now, wait, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, NCS. I was voted team leader for the Social Action Project, and my mate thought it'd be funny to buy me a sheriff's badge. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but he didn't realise that the badge was meant to be part of one of those, like, sexy police costumes. I'm like... So, on the packaging of this badge, there was just a picture of what it should have been worn with, and I don't know why he didn't notice that. He just got the sheriff's badge. I don't know where he even got it from, but there's just this like sexy costume on the branding or like the packaging. I'm like, how did you not notice that? I kid you not. We just creased ourselves laughing. Honestly, he's so, I don't want to say simple. He's just daft. Is probably the best word, but he's really one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. But I don't know why. That was just really funny to us. Anyway. And a photo reminded me of all of that. And then there was this other picture of a building in Bristol. I think it was like the library, but it looked like a cathedral. And that reminds me of my trip to Bristol, obviously. Oh, and let me tell you something about Bristol, ladies and gents, right? So, it is the most elegant, new-aged, hippie, and hilly place I have ever been, right? So, me and my mates, right? The Wild Boys, like the Duran Duran song, right? We went down to visit our mate who goes to Bristol Uni. And when we got there, she took us on a tour of the city, and everything was fine, and we went to this, like, little cafe place. And everything on the menu was sourdough, like, everything, right? The pizza was sourdough, the sandwiches were sourdough, even the bloody beer. Like, I'm not even that bad when it comes to, like, microbreweries, but, like, sourdough? Really? And then she tells me, like, everywhere in Bristol's like this. I'm like, what? What do you mean? She's like, yeah, everywhere just sells, like, it's like microbreweries and stuff like that. I'm thinking, but where's my Corona? I really want a Corona. Just a Corona and lime. Nothing too fancy. Just a normal beer a normal drink I can rely on. Oh, and it got even worse, because later in the day, we said we would buy some drinks for, like, prees and stuff like that. Even the shop didn't sell Corona. Like, Tesco Express didn't have bottles of Corona, but they'll gladly sell this crappy stuff like Prosecco and Peroni, but they had no Corona. Oh, and I just think, how the hell is there not a single bottle of Corona in this city, like anywhere? Oh, and then we even went to like the edgy side of town. I don't know if you can't see me obviously, but I'm doing the finger quotations around edgy side because it wasn't the edgy side of town. No, one building had graffiti on it, and that was it. That was made edgy. Now, where I come from, that's not edgy. That's like if a building doesn't have a graffiti on it, it's just weird, right? It was so nice and clean, and that was the edgy side of town. But it had no corona, so it was an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. And all of that was sparked from a photo, right? All that whole story. I mean, there is another story as well, but I'll keep that to myself. I'll save that for another day, actually. Now, I recently got a new photo of me when me and my future housemates completed this escape room. It was actually really, really funny. Looking at the picture now, I don't know why, my friend just looks Amish in all the photos. It's like one of those dress-up things where you get like 4 photos. Yeah, I don't know why, in every photo he just looks Amish. I don't know why, but that's not the point. The point is, we were doing this escape room, right? And I didn't know what to expect, right? So, because my mate booked it, and he said it's called the Devil's Playground. Now, I'm already a scaredy cat as it is. I was just like, I jump at my own shadow, right? If anyone starts screaming in my face, I'm gonna pass out. I'm just gonna do that. I mean, there was only one person that physically jumped at us. Well, it was more like they just slammed open the door and started screaming, right? I crapped myself. I completely crapped myself. Not as bad as me mate, though, who was right in front of the door. And apparently, I mean, nobody else saw it, but apparently it was a clown face. We all like crapped ourselves from that. Oh, and thank God I wasn't like the one in front of the door. I would have punched them or wet myself. Probably both, actually. Other than that, and like things falling from the ceiling, it wasn't actually that bad, scary-wise. And I didn't know what to expect from like this escape room. It was quite fun though. It was quite fun. We managed to escape, which is always a win. I'd definitely do another one because it was fun. I won't tell you like how we did it and all that because I don't want to spoil it if anybody goes. I think it was fun because like it had like these roles for each player. So everyone in the room had a role or like a character that they could play before they went in. So like, and they all had like special buffs. So like somebody could ask questions on the phone, and somebody could add an extra 5 minutes. And you want to know what my role was? I was the erotic dancer. Yeah. Now, I didn't dress the part obviously, and I didn't have to strip, thank God. But yeah, it was weird, right? So I could go onto this pentagram on the floor, and I could dance to get clues and tips. Well, I went all out with my moves, didn't I? I'm known for a good dance moves, right? Back home, they call me the hips for a reason. Yeah, Seriously, they do. I remember this one lass came up to me in a bar once, and she was like, "You're the guy with the hips." I'm like, "Yes, I am." It was brilliant time. So I used my hips to good use and got some clues. And each time I did it, I shouted something like, "Alright, you foul beast, look at me and behold my slut drop." Well, my mates loved it. The devil seemed to like it too, because they gave us some clues. I mean, too bad we were too busy laughing so much that we didn't hear what he was actually telling us. But it was just really funny. I just thought it was really funny to like dance to get clues. I thought that was just a brilliant way to like do an escape room or like do another aspect to the room. Just like have like different roles for people, which was quite cool. It was nice that it was like, well, not nice. It was cool that it had like a devilish theme to it, right? But I tell you what, right? There's some kids shows that should be in hell right now. Because let me tell you, right? Me and my mates were chatting about it, like what you watched as a kid, and people were listing things off like Rubber Dubbers, you know, the Tweenies, Hannah Montana, you know, that kind of stuff. Nobody said Bill and Ben, the Flower Pot Men, but that was good too. I really liked that one. Yeah, just putting it out there. And anyway, I looked at some of these shows on YouTube. Looking back at them, they're really weird. Like really weird. Like seriously, why did my mum let me watch the Teletubbies? Right? Like, there's a baby face for the sun, which you might think is cute, but let me tell you something. That baby is staring into my soul and laughing about it. Right? That is a freaky looking baby. And then the actual Teletubbies themselves had like these massive bulging eyes. I don't think they blinked. And that's a bit freaky to me. Like, I don't like dolls as it is, but come on, that's just weird. Like, I've never understood why they have TVs in their bellies either. Like, I know that's what the show is called, and that's the whole premise of it. But like, it's just weird. Like, is the show trying to tell us something? Are they trying to say that like that's what humans are going to evolve into if we keep watching telly? I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they're all so colourful and when we have like antenna on our head. But still, that's a bit weird. Anyway, maybe the show is like a futuristic planet Earth thing. Like the narrator is not David Attenborough, obviously, but it's describing the future habitants of the planet. Who knows? Who knows? But that was a weird show. And then there was this one called Bits and Bobs, which was pretty good, in my opinion. Like, there was these little fuzzballs with eyes, and they roll around in like this big red bin thing, and they sing about everything. I mean everything. And I remember my sister really hated them, because I remember there was one phrase they used to say over and over, and it really annoyed her. And I remember it to the day. It goes something along like this: if I don't know and you don't know, and you don't know and I don't know, do you know? I'm sorry, sis, if you're watching. I just had to. I just thought it was really funny. It's a bit stupid as well. Oh, and they don't blink these things either. Like, I've noticed, like, none of the characters in, like, shows I watched as a kid, like, none of them have the ability to blink. Is that just me thinking that's weird? Or, like, do they not have the ability to just, like, blink? Or not even have eyelids in some of the cases? Or worse, they'll have eyelids, but they won't use them. And I'm like, why? What is this? Oh, and speaking of things that don't blink, who remembers Rosie and Jim, right? Like those little felt puppets that live on the canal boat or whatever, or the barge or whatever it is. Oh, they're creepy. Like, why would you ever watch that? Why would you make me watch that? That is weird. And you know it's old as well, because like when I watched it on YouTube, the screen was a square. I'm like, bloody hell, this is old. This is really old. Oh, and why do they have to sing everything as well? Like, is it possible to have a kids show without a musical number every 5 goddamn seconds? Or like, just to have a show where it's got no morals. They don't have to teach the kid anything. Like, I learned how to count to 3 today. I don't care. Just give them some mindless show to watch. All right? That's all we needed. You know, it might have helped us with like numbers, but I doubt it. Do you know what the worst thing about all of it is? Right? They've all got really catchy songs. Right? So I've got like Rosie and Jim singing Splish Splash with Tinky Winky and bloody Dipsy in my head. Deep breaths, John. I need to get these songs out of my head, to be fair, because it's just driving me up the wall. So thank you for listening today. If you've liked what you've heard, let me know down below. As always, enjoy a cuppa.